I, James Norman Mattis, do solemnly swear.
I, James Norman Mattis, do solemnly swear.
We've had a really surprise development in the Trump administration with Jim Mattis, who's the Secretary of Defense, announcing that he's stepping down from his position. This comes at a time when there's been a lot of tension between the White House and the Pentagon over President Trump's announcement that he was going to be pulling out troops from Syria. This is something that the Pentagon was adamantly opposed to because they felt like those troops in Syria were really a bulwark against extremist forces, including the Islamic State. And Trump's announcement really came as a surprise to many of the top leaders in the Pentagon. What's particularly notable about Mattis's decision is that he says in his letter announcing that he's quitting that the president deserves a Secretary of Defense who's more closely aligned with his own views on policy, on the United States' role in the world. And he notes things like U.S. commitment to NATO, the U.S. commitment to the alliance that has been fighting the Islamic State, to concerns about the role China and Russia play right now. And so essentially what he is saying is that he disagrees with the president on all of these things, on our alliances, on our relationship with NATO, and on the role of Russia and China. That in and of itself is hugely significant. It signals that Mattis feels like he can no longer serve the president because they simply do not align on key issues. Mattis has really been a central figure in this administration, and the key question now is what happens as he leaves. Who fills that job? Does Trump go with somebody who is in line with Mattis, who is much more of a traditionalist, is somebody who comes from the military establishment, or does he look toward someone who may be more aligned with him politically? Certainly there will be those who hope that the next Secretary of Defense is someone in the Mattis mold, because frankly people believe that Mattis has actually held off some of Trump's worst impulses, that there were things that Trump would have tried to do if Mattis hadn't been there to stop him.
All I can say is he is the real deal.
Some of this is natural. You do see changeovers in a White House and in an administration after about 2 years, after a midterm election. But Mattis is really a singular figure in this administration. He is somebody who is viewed favorably by Democrats and Republicans. He's somebody who was seen as really an adult in the room, someone who could tell Trump when he thought he was wrong, someone who wasn't afraid to stand up to Trump, and more importantly, even someone that Trump actually listened to. So the fact that he is leaving is more significant than really any other departure that we've seen.